Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Conquering the Match video. Today, we're going to be talking with Mariana, and she applied to internal medicine in the 2024-2025 match. Welcome.
Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy.
Of course, I would like to start by asking you to share with everybody a little bit about your background and what your applicant profile looked heading into the match.
My background, I'm an IMG. Um, I'm originally from Colombia. I made my medical school there, and I graduated on 2021. Um, my medical education and what I did during those years of med school wasn't like really anything like just the average, you know. I tried to exceed on my clinical rotations and give the best of me, but I didn't really involve in other activities that maybe could be important for the application at that point. Um, so I think it's fine if the future applicants don't do that at that moment. If you're really focused on just in your clinical rotations in the med school, I think you can catch up later. That's what I did.
So, when did you come to the US and how did you catch up later, as you said?
I came on uh, 2022, like in January, I think, on 2022. And um, well, yeah, I realized that I had to do maybe other things to improve my CV. So I contact one of my professors during med school, and he helped me to get into some research. That was like my only one research during the whole process, and I figured out that could be very useful if I showed something related with volunteers. So I look up for a couple of volunteers. I get involved in three volunteers, and I think that was really helpful for me. That made me a booster for my CV and my personal statement and on my application. But yeah, I will say that during the process, during the application process, we tried to highlight more um, some of my skills and my values that in order to back up that I was a good applicant for the programs just with what I had and nothing really um, like doing anything extra at that point.
What about US clinical experience? After you moved to the US, were you able to get in and get some experience?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that. Yeah. Um I have three clinical US clinical experiences. I think would have been great if I start to look for that clinical experiences earlier. I think that's something I will change because I realized that I start a bit late. And although I had pretty good US clinical experiences, but um, if I would start earlier, I could have even better ones. Um, because there are different ways to apply for the clinical experiences. You can use external companies, or you can try to get directly with like with the website of the program. And in order to do that, you have to do it earlier. So I think that was maybe one of my mistakes. But at the end, everything sorted out.
Was there anything specifically on your CV that you thought stood out or that came up during interviews?
Uh, mm, During my interviews, well, it depends. It depends on the program, the focus of the program, and the interviewer, because some were more interested in some specific areas of my CB and others in other areas. For example, in with one program, the interviewer was more interested in my research, so I had to prepare very well all the information of the research, the results, the methods, everything. And there were other programs in which they didn't mention at all the research and focus more on my volunteer experience or my hands-on experience during med school, because since I am an IMG, we have a lot of hands-on experience and autonomy. So they ask me more about that. I think it depends of every program, the interviewer and the focus of that program.
Now, what about your personal statement? Because you mentioned that your application did a good job kind of highlighting your values. And in your personal statement, that was something that you talked a lot about as far as your desire to really be boots on the ground, kind of helping in the community. So, was that something that you thought won you a lot of points in terms of how the programs viewed you?
Um, um, Honestly, I don't know. But with the personal statement, I really try to be very genuine. I try to show me how I really was. I wasn't trying to um, fit like the specific qualities, the qualities that I thought would be perfect for X or Y program. I just try to be genuine and show me the way I really was, because I want to find a program in which I could be me, in which I could feel that I really fit without trying, without that effort. So, and I think you really helped me to do that when we work together in the personal statement, highlighting all these things that make me me. And yeah, that's what I think. I think that work, because if you think about it, there are a lot of applicants, and if they are saying exactly the same, they are trying to show to the programs in the same way that they are perfect, they're the best applicants, um they are good with the academics, or I don't know, if they try to give the impression that they think is gonna be better for that program, maybe I don't think that's the best strategy. You have to show that you are different to the others in your own way. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's something that applicants struggle with a lot is the battle between saying what you think they want to hear versus saying what's actually true to your story. And at the end of the day, I always recommend being true to your story because they hear a whole lot of what they want to hear, people trying to be, like you said, perfect and prove something rather than just sharing organically about who they are and what they can bring to the table, which is what your personal statement did.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. For example, we talk a lot of we mentioned in my personal statement how my parents affect my decisions to start this journey about medicine and internal medicine, and how everything in my childhood made me the person who I am today, and why that um, made me a good applicant for the programs, not like just one specific programs, but in general.
So thinking about the application process as a whole, is there anything about it that surprised you or was harder than you thought it was going to be over the summer getting ready to apply?
Um, well, something what surprised me, yeah, was how many requirements there were. At the beginning, I feel really overwhelmed with that. Like it was too much for me at the beginning. So I made a list, and I made a plan and I stick to it. I specified what I had to do, how I should do that, and the deadlines. I think that was very helpful. Otherwise, I will got crazy with all those requirements.
Was there any resource in terms of the requirements, because you're talking about from ECFMG certification, MSPE, and all of that? Was there any resource that you found especially helpful, or did you find that you had to kind of just scour the internet to put the pieces together yourself?
Well, at the beginning, yes, I had to put the pieces together by myself because at the beginning I was pretty lost. And that's how actually I ended up with you. That's how I get to you, looking for a mentor or someone to guide me. And so besides my list and try to have everything clear, like which were the steps that I had to follow, um, you support was incredible for me. That really helped me to have more clarity and feel less stress with the whole process. So I think it is really, really important to have a mentor or someone to guide the applicants because there are a lot of things that you have to do and there are a lot of resources and you don't know which one will be better or what do you have to do or how to start to do it. So I think that that's very, very important.
Okay, perfect. So fast forwarding just a little bit into post application, when it was time for time for interviews, how many interviews did you get? When did they start coming in? And what were interviews like for you?
Well, at the beginning I was expecting just like 3 or 4 interviews because as I told you, like I didn't do anything like um anything incredible during my med school. Um, and I got a gap of 3 years between my graduation year and the year in which I applied. So I wasn't expecting really many interviews. But for my surprise, I had 15 interviews. So for me, that was incredible. That was a lot. That was an achievement because I wasn't expecting so many. But I took every one of these interviews like the most important for me. Like all of the interviews for me were valuable. All of these were a new opportunity to get into a good place. So, and I think that was the result of all the effort of all the months that we worked together in the CV, in the personal statement, practicing the interviews, everything was like that was the result of a lot of our effort.
A lot of applicants, when they're getting ready for that first interview, they are extremely nervous and there's a lot of stress involved. And then what I frequently hear after one or two or even three interviews is that it wasn't so bad. It's really just a conversation. So would you agree that, like, if you had the hindsight to see that it really isn't as stressful as one might make it out to be, like, what advice would you give to people who are going to be applying this year?
Yeah, definitely is not that stressful. The first one, yeah, the first one was terrifying for me. I didn't feel prepared at all with the first interview. But with the second and third one, the things got better. Um, I definitely that was the part that was scaring the most for me. The interviews. I was scared that maybe my nerves could affect my performance. I could forget what I had to say or even my English at that point. So I dedicate a lot of time to practice for the interviews, really a lot of time. Um, I watch a lot of videos. I practiced with you. I practiced with other English native speakers. I practice every day in front of the mirror with the laptop camera and I think I checked my answers several times during the whole season because they were changing over time. Um, but yeah, at the beginning I thought that the interviews were gonna be really strict, like really formal and just very professional. But actually, no, they were very friendly. The environment was very friendly and relaxed. Of course, you don't know what to expect. Um, with each of these interviews. Um, you don't know if you will match the interviewer energy or I got surprised by some behavioral and personality questions that I hadn't prepared. So definitely you can't prepare answers for all the questions. You can't. But with the time, I learned how to answer these questions with the information that I already prepared for other questions. So yeah, I think after the second or the third one, you feel more relaxed, more confident on yourself, and you notice that it's just like you're just gonna talk with another person who really want to get to know you. That's all.
Did you have any interview experiences that really stood out as far as being special, or on the other end of things, any that were exceptionally awkward or a little bit strange?
Um, um, well, I would say the one that I had in the program in which I match was one of my last ones. And actually, we had a problem with the video call. I don't know, I could hear the interviewer. And actually, I thought was his fault. So we have an issue there. And of course, I got very stressed when I realized that. But he realized that I was getting more and more stressed, and he helped me to calm myself down, and we together we look for a solution. Um, so it is the other day I was thinking about that because I don't think was my best interview that moment. I thought like, oh my God, I screwed up. But turns out was the place in which I get in was my first place and I get in there. So I would say don't let these issues or these things during the interview think that you did something wrong. Like maybe sometimes you can't give a very good impression to the interviewers and you don't realize about it, but they can get very impressed with you even though if you have these issues during the interview. With my first interview, something similar happened with the video call, and the interviewer had to call me through the phone, so we had the interview through the phone.
And that was early.
Sorry.
That was early in the interview process. That was the one where they called you on the
Yeah, that
phone, or
was
was
my first interview that happened in my first interview. So I was really nervous. I was scared. And besides that, at the top of that, happened this problem with the video call, and he had to call me through the phone. So, but yeah, I think every interview is different. Is completely different. Yeah.
okay? So then, when it came to submitting your rank order list and then waiting for match day, can you walk us through what it was like waiting for your email on Monday?
Oh, well, um, I was. Of course, I was super nervous and I was very excited as well. The day before, I tried to get busy in my mind as much as possible. And during the night, I even exercised actually a lot to help me to go to the bed and sleep. And so in the morning on match day, I woke up very early. I want to be ready. I was expecting good news, but I was so tired of the exercise of the last night that I fell asleep again. It was actually the messages of my best friend um, telling me that he matched who woke me up again. And at that point, I realized, like, oh my God, I fell asleep. How is that possible in a day that is so important? And I ran to check my email with my parents, and we got the good news. We were very happy, very excited. Um, yeah, that day I was super happy, but I think was the day in which I knew in which program I matched. That day was even a happier day because at the beginning, I was a bit skeptical if I will match at the place that I want, but I did it. And when I saw the name of the program in the email, I felt like everything um, fell in the place in which it should be. Like I just felt that was right. I immediately felt that I belonged to that program. I knew that I belonged to that program. So I had a smile on my face the whole day, and absolutely nothing could ruin my day. I was thrilled, really. That was like one of those days in which that I will say one of the best days of my life, definitely.
And how are things now, now that you're kind of getting ready to move and start your career as an internist? Is the excitement still there? Is some stress crept in, or what does that look like?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. The excitement still is there. I'm very excited. I mean, I have a lot of paperwork to do, um, and well, I'm moving to the other side of the country, so I have a lot of things to do and sort out before moving. Um, but I'm very happy. I'm very excited. The program has been very welcoming, very friendly with us. They have support us during the whole onboarding process. So I definitely, I don't know, I don't have any doubt that I got into the place in which I should be. I'm very happy, and I think it is true what sometimes the people say that you have to trust in your guts. Um, if you have that feeling that this is the program, that I think doesn't matter what other people say or what you can find on the internet because everyone has something to say. But just trust in your gut. I would say definitely just trust in your gut. Go with your gut. Don't be afraid to do that. Like because this is a university program or this has prestige and the name of this program is better than this one. I think those things, yeah, probably have some relevance, but it shouldn't be the most important at the time to choose the program, to choose your number one, to know your number one. Um, Definitely, that is something that the people have to have in mind.
So you've already given a lot of good advice all throughout the discussion, but if there's any final advice that you could give to this upcoming season's applicants for internal medicine, what would you say?
I will say start early, the process. Don't wait until the end, um, because there are a lot of things that you have to do. So it's better start early so you don't get stressed. Make a plan and stick to it, and for sure find a mentor or someone to guide you and support you during the whole process. That is gonna make the difference. I would say take care of your mental health. You're gonna need it. So make time for your favorite hobby or any sport. Um, have a support network with your family, your friends is very important as well. You're gonna have bad days, and you're gonna need them. These people surrounding you. And finally, I will say just trust in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you are an excellent applicant, and show them that because I know out there are a lot of very good applicants. um, it's just that they need someone to to help them to highlight all these incredible things they have and trust in themselves because sometimes can be really difficult for us trust in ourselves. But yeah, they can do it. So I definitely will encourage them to start this process.
Well, that was all really positive advice and really encouraging. So thank you for sharing it. And I want to congratulate you on behalf of myself and Class Act for your successful match. And we are wishing you all the best in the months ahead.
Thank you, Tiffany. I got an incredible experience working with you, and Yeah, I think that was one of the best decisions I took for this process. So thank you very much for that, for all your help.
You are extremely welcome and best wishes.
Thank you. Bye.